When your parents are off in space and just not grounded in reality at all, you're on roller skates yourself.
Oh, yeah, totally.
God, I'm really killing it on this episode.
You are. So your workout was good? Exhausted. I was happy to do this by myself.
No, I love doing this. I sometimes get overwhelmed by podcasting. I feel like I've said so much, but these are really I think they're healthy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and I think it helps me in my relationship with you.
It does?
I think so.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I feel that way too. Sometimes I start to feel like I've told every story there is to tell. I don't know
you
what
should be doing
say.
this for 15 years.
Yeah.
And then people call you on it. They're like, dude, the guy tells the same stories over and over again. You go, yeah, I've only lived one life.
Yeah, it's true.
I try to tell them with a different inflection.
That sometimes I'm starting to feel, before we answer the questions, I'm starting to feel like everybody has a podcast now.
Don't ever say that. Everyone should have a podcast.
That's how, you didn't let me finish my thought. So
yeah.
You don't know what that was leading to.
Go ahead. I apologize. I shouldn't interrupt your thoughts.
Okay, thanks. I feel like everybody has a podcast, and I'm not really sure why mine matters or should be special or should be listened to. I've already said everything I'm going to say. So what more do I have to say? That's what I feel like sometimes.
The question is, you got to turn it around. Do you enjoy it?
I do. Yeah, I enjoy it. Like yesterday when Romy was here, I really enjoyed it. It was so much fun.
So let me ask you another question. And I look at it this way. Just because you're not a master gardener doesn't mean you shouldn't have a garden.
That's very true.
Just because you're not Jimmy Page doesn't mean you shouldn't play guitar.
That's true.
If you enjoy it, then do it.
Like the trumpeter at the...
It's a trumpeter at Florida State.
Florida State.
For those of you that don't know, there's this young lady my age who was a marching chief at Florida State when I was, and her husband bought her a trumpet. She's had this trumpet for a while, but she can only play one song, and it's the Florida State fight song. So sometimes she'll be sitting at the fire pit with him late at night, and she'll want to play her trumpet. And her husband has to listen to her play. Da, da, na, 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 na. By the way, those are all the notes in succession that she can play.
Repeated.
Nah. Her husband says she loves it. She doesn't know any other songs, but she loves it. So fuck it.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess you look at it that way.
Love it.
Love it. Okay.
And maybe this young lady who's about to call in, maybe she's like, no, LeeAnn, please don't stop your podcast. It helps me.
Well, I mean, I know that the people who listen to my podcast love it.
That's who you make it for.
Hey, you know what? I feel like I'd be pretty arrogant and self-important if I didn't question that from time to time. And I go, what am I even saying? I'm saying the same thing over and over again. My intention when I started my podcast was to hang out with friends and chat with them. And I feel like I haven't gotten to do that very much lately.
Then refocus your podcast.
I'm going to. I think I should.
Let's take our first caller.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, babe.
I apologize. I'm so sorry. I thought you were
okay.
Sorry.
Let's take our first caller.
Can we just not do this? Should I leave? I feel like I'm interrupting you.
No, you're not interrupting me. It's so funny.
Okay.
Hey, LeeAnn. My name is Angela. I'm a huge, huge fan of you and Bert and your family. My question is, my wife, we've been married 26 years. We've known each other since we were 17. So honestly, we're soulmates. But here's the thing. I am like Bert. So I like to, get at it and have fun and keep going. And, it's like maybe the party's ending, let's say, as an example, people are leaving, but I want to stay, for those who do want to stay. But usually my wife, not that she has anxiety, but she'll be like, she's not, in a better way to put it, I'm spontaneous and she's not. So and we have twins and they just started college, right? So so being that they're in college and I now have a little more free time on the home front to kind of do the things go to the events, there's cigar events by me and I want to, network for my podcast, this and that. But every time I'm like, oh, there's this, there's that. She's like, again? So I don't know. I guess my question is, I'm a little bit like Bert in the sense of get after it, just keep with the fun. And you're married to Bert. So what do you feel would be your advice for my wife, where she's just kind of you still want to be doing that? And I'm just Yeah, I want to constantly just be, just full energy and smiling until midnight. So, okay, I hope that question was clear. Like I said, love you guys. And that's it. Love you all. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Angela. Love you too.
I think the advice would not be just for your wife. It would be for both of you, right? Because what you just described is very much like me and Bert. A long time ago, I read an article in a newspaper that explained the difference between an extrovert and an introvert. And it was very helpful for me. So an extrovert gets energy from being with people, being very social. And an introvert gets energy from being by themselves and being kind of quiet. It doesn't mean that you can't be a really social introvert. And it can't mean that you can't be a quiet or extrovert. It just depends on how you gain your recharge. Bert, you definitely recharge by being with people, right? Hello.
I do. I was just kind of lost in thought when you said that. The other day, I was going through Nashville Airport. I woke up in my hotel room in Nashville? No, in Austin. I woke up in my hotel room in Austin, and I was in a fucking spiral. In the car. And then when I got to TSA, the spiral was gone, and I was in a good mood, and I was smiling, and I was talking to people. And I realized, fuck, I draw energy from people.
Yeah.
Theo Vaughn was at that airport that day, and I texted him, and I said, do you travel by yourself? Because I don't travel by myself. I always travel with either Peter or, in some cases, Peter, Victoria, Stacy, you, a group of people, some openers, a tour manager. I always make sure we travel together. And I realized it's because I draw energy from people. And realizing that about yourself is really important. But more importantly, it's giving the space to your partner because as much as you get your energy, you have to realize they're the exact fucking opposite.
Mm-hmm.
And as uncomfortable as that makes us feel, and it does make us feel uncomfortable to just sit on the porch in silence.
We don't
with
sit
a Kindle.
porch.
No, with a Kindle. No, but that's your.
Oh, for me,
Yeah.
I thought you meant that's what you do for me is sit on the porch in silence.
No.
I was like, you do? Okay, sorry, I misunderstood. Yeah.
You're really jumping on me this podcast. Anyway, but as much as that would give me anxiety,
Yeah.
because it forces me to sit with my thoughts. That's what makes the other person charge.
Yes.
And so I'll tell you what, the number one thing I started doing was just running it by LeeAnn ahead of time. So the decision was ours together.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't just pop it on her.
Yeah, that's one thing. The other thing was we started doing this thing where I would say, you go and I'll meet you there. And that way you can get really geared up and running with social, and I can have the time I need to just recharge before I plug into a bunch of people. So we just were really clear with how each of us functioned and tried to help the other function the way they function. Because I don't ever say to you, don't go do this or that, unless there's some scheduling problem. But I don't ever say no, you can't go because I don't feel like it.
You know what you said?
What?
Which is probably complicated in a lesbian relationship. I think that's the right way to say it. A gay, a homo.
Same sex?
Same sex.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I said all the bad ones. In the most awesome relationship ever. LeeAnn's been saying to me, you need to be with your friends. You need some friends. She called Santino and was like, you need to take Bert out golfing.
Yes.
You need to go to do this. You need to be with your friends. Because me and LeeAnn is just me and LeeAnn.
Yes. Well, that, and I have friends and I do stuff with my friends. I work out with my friend Sandy 3 days a week. I go to dinner with girlfriends from time to time. And you just go out for work, which is really great.
And my only friend I pay.
No, but you have other friends. But I think in her situation where she really wants to get after it and go after it, the other piece of it is, your wife may not just want to be alone. She may want to be quiet with Angela. So that, just like Angela wants the wife to go, or allow her to go, the wife may need Angela to sit sometimes. And so if you understand that that's how she recharges, then you can help her with that. Almost like saying You know what makes me feel connected is when you make me coffee in the morning. Well, okay, you can do that. That's super simple. But when you think of it as like her slowing you down or the coffee is interrupting my morning to make you coffee, well, your perspective on that really matters. So if you go, okay, my wife's an introvert. She recharges by being quiet or being alone. Okay, well, let's together make a decision to have a quiet night at home from time to time. And then we can together make the decision to go after it or let me go after it. But I think for introverts, speaking for introverts, an extrovert usually lives life really out loud. And sometimes it's hard for an introvert to get their voice heard because the extrovert's needs are very loud. So if an extrovert can just stop for a moment and go, oh, hold on, maybe I can listen to what this introvert needs. I can get her need taken care of. And then that will also take care of my need. Because when you take care of each other's needs, you kind of then take care of each other. It reciprocates. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, Angela, I identify with you a lot.
Of course.
I think I want to do your podcast.
No, there you
I'd love to
go.
have a cigar with you. I'm trying to place her accent.
I don't know.
I think it's Jersey or Philly, Pennsylvania, maybe Ohio.
Maybe there was an area code with their phone number and we can figure it out.
Yeah. Thank you for the phone call, Angela.
Yeah, thank you.
And good luck. And tell you and be vocal with your wife about your needs too. Because one of the things LeeAnn does that's really cool is LeeAnn plans a lot of cool stuff for us to do out.
I do.
To take care of her needs in a weird way.
Yeah.
She plans stuff for us to do out. She says stuff like, hey, specialty cocktail in the hot tub. Like she makes introvert fun.
I do.
Or we got into Peaky Blinders. Just get into Peaky Blinders.
We do that. That's a very good point, is that I didn't just say, no, you have to also read a Kindle on the porch. I did say, let's do a specialty cocktail. Let's get into a TV show together. I bought recliners so that we could get really into sitting in our living room, right? It's stupid, but that's what I did.
Yeah.
So, and that's about being home and making that introvert piece fun. I'll tell you this, as an introvert married to an extrovert, sometimes I feel really lame because I need to just be quiet. And to have somebody who wants to be doing all these wild and crazy things and making memories and making legends and lore, it makes me feel lame to just go, you know what I want to do is have a glass of wine on the back porch and do nothing. So I think it would be helpful. Bert never makes me feel lame for wanting to do that. I feel lame for wanting to do that. So to clarify, in our relationship, you don't go, well, that's lame. I feel sometimes like, oh, what a lame-o. So if there's a way that you can help your wife not feel lame for just needing quiet time and make her feel acknowledged. I mean, yes, she can do some changes, but you could do some changes too. You might be surprised would help you get what you wanted in a better, faster, richer way by giving her what she needs also. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I do feel lame a lot of times where I go, I just want to sit at home. Oh, there's this guy, I'm going to be the grand marshal to the parade. And I go, that's awesome. That sounds like a lot. That's my initial brain goes, that sounds like a lot. And then, of course, I go. I would go and would want to go. But my initial reaction, because I'm an introvert, is, oh, that's a lot of work. And then I always end up having a blast.
But for the record, you didn't go.
I know. That was the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah.
Wife of the Party is sponsored by Lumi. If you haven't heard the hype around Lumi, I'll fill you in. Lumi's a whole body deodorant created by an OBGYN for all the places odor naturally forms on your body. So obviously underarms, but also feet, under boobs, and intimate areas. So if you want to give the gift of Lumi confidence or treat yourself, head to lumideodorant.com and use our exclusive code Y15 for an extra 15% off all Lumi products. Let me tell you something about menopause. I didn't have smelly sweat before menopause, especially in my under boob area. Well, surprise, that shows up for some people, and the Lumi whole body deodorant does the trick, especially in the under boob. Lumi starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like a mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, That equals over 40% off their starter pack. Use code WIFE15 for 15% off your first purchase at LumeDeodorant.com. That's code WIFE15 at LumeDeodorant.com. Please support our show and tell them Wife of the Party sent you. I'm always looking for ways to make drinking more water easier, so I don't even have to think about it. That's why you've got to check out AquaTrue. AquaTrue Purifiers uses a 4-stage reverse osmosis purification process, and their countertop purifiers work with no installation or plumbing. It removes 15 times more contaminants than ordinary pitcher filters. The filters are affordable and long-lasting. No changing filters every 2 or 3 months. AquaTrue filters last from 6 months to 2 years. It's even portable, making it perfect for renters or college dorms. Best of all, the water tastes fantastic. For me, I like seeing the water filter on my countertop because it's a visual reminder to drink more water. And I actually do it. I see it and then I do it. I love their countertop filters. AquaTrue comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee and even makes a great gift. Today, my listeners receive 20% off any AquaTrue purifier. Just go to aquatrue.com. That's AQUATRU.com and enter code WIFE at checkout. That's 20% off any AquaTrue water purifiers when you go to aquatrue.com and use the code WIFE. Let's take the next caller.
Hi, Bert and LeeAnn. Big fan. Fully Loaded in Canton was fantastic this year.
Fully Loaded.
Please come back. Anyway, my question is about family. So, me and my husband have been together for straight out of high school. So, for like almost 8 years now, we have 2 little kids. We've been married since 2020. So, we were living with family due to a whole bunch of things. And then my mom picked a very large fight. And basically it ended with her calling me a liar, telling me all these things that they said to me when I was a teenager, like never happened. I made it up. I'm a liar. They also hate my husband, and that's why they're not involved in my life. And in reality, I just wanted them to acknowledge the crazy differences between how I was raised and how my siblings have been raised. And instead of an apology and for all these terrible things she said to me, she said it was my fault. And so I've opted to no longer speak to her after a lot of back and forth. So I still have a little bit of a relationship with my dad, but they're married. So it's really hard to maintain that because I'm not seeing him. We just text here and there. But my main question, I guess, would be, do I owe them the option of being in my life ever again? Or I don't want to, but I constantly doubt whether this was the right choice. And it just has been a lot of drama, and I don't miss anything about not being around them, but it makes me feel guilty that my kids won't know them. So I guess I just don't know if I'm making the right choice. I don't know what to do, and maybe you guys can give me some guidance. So thank you. Love you guys so much. Bye.
Well, you're going to have a lot of answer to this.
Well, I don't even actually know if I have answer. The hard part is, here's the shitty answer is no one can really answer that question but you. Because
I can.
You can?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
You don't owe anyone anything.
Well, that's true.
It's your parents' responsibility to have a relationship with you.
That's true.
These are my opinions.
Okay.
It is your parents' responsibility to have a relationship with you. Parents misremember everything. Parents, very seldomly does a parent find themselves culpable about stuff they did when you were a child.
That's true.
It is really tough for a parent to realize they might have fucked you up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I can very casually say I had one very subtle conversation with my parents over some wine by myself regarding how different my childhood was than my sister's, and it did not end well. And I will just simply tell you, I've chosen never to talk about that again because their recollection is They were like recollection. And it's got, and listen, as a parent, I made humongous mistakes with my daughters. Humongous mistakes. And probably out of all the mistakes I've made, those are the hardest ones for me to rectify and to stand by and go, yeah, I fucked that up. And if my daughters called me on that, God forbid I have a drink in me, because I would get very defensive. I would get very defensive. And ultimately what I'd be trying to say is, you're fine now though.
Yeah.
Ugh. I mean, I get uncomfortable thinking about it.
Yeah.
However, as their parent, it is my responsibility to make sure that my children are taken care of and that they feel loved and that they feel taken care of in every sense of it. So I apologize that you have to go through this.
Yeah, I feel really bad too. I think everything you said is right. And the only person who can answer the question as to whether or not they should be in your life or your kid's life is you. I mean, in your example, you have a different memory of your experience than your parents. You had a not so great conversation about it, and you've moved on. You have a great relationship with your parents. You've just kind of agreed to disagree about certain things.
We've agreed to forget about that conversation ever happened.
But I'm giving you an example of a way that you can have this not on the same page moment and still have a relationship with your parents.
And I need you to know that I forgot your name, the caller. I need you to know that even saying what I said, I'm nervous that my parents would hear this and then say, what was the conversation that I'd have to have it again? So listen.
They don't listen to my podcast, so don't worry about it.
My dad definitely doesn't.
No, 100%. I don't think your mom does either.
She'll listen to her episode.
Well, yeah. Well, she's not on it this round.
She'll listen to her episode.
She'll listen to her don't worry about it episode.
But yes.
What I was saying is juxtaposed to my experience, where I have had conversations with my mom and we can't get past it, right? There's too much there that I'm not willing to accept for my children, for my husband, for myself. So she's not in our lives.
And I will say, as the husband, what you don't know is euphoric. What you don't know is nothing less than a blessing. And so I thank you for not having her in my life, because I can tell you, I don't know the good, but I really don't know the bad, and you know the bad.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And so thank you. Look, I don't know how bad a snake bite is. I know that if you get bit by a snake, you got one hell of a story to tell everyone for the rest of your life. But I don't know about those 7 hours where you got to sit in the hospital and they drain your blood and your foot swells and you wonder if you're going to lose your foot. The story's cool.
It's not that great, though. It's not that great to live through. So, yeah, I mean, your question was, am I doing the right thing? Is it okay to have them not in your life? Yeah. Well, I can tell you from my experience, it has been okay not to have my mom here. I'm surrounded by love from lots of other places. And the things I was butting up against with her, we weren't able to figure out. And I just wasn't willing to represent that kind of dysfunction to my children.
I'll tell you this. Okay, this is like, I like thinking sideways. I know it gets me in trouble because I say crazy shit, but I like thinking this. If you told me today that I'm married to a psycho who wronged her mother in the worst way possible, and her mother's the biggest victim, truthfully, and my wife is a fucking lunatic, I still keep it this way. I'm very happy. So the truth is, you don't know what you don't know, and I don't know what life is like with that woman in my life.
Yeah,
I love my life, and so and
our kids, I think, feel similarly.
And I'm so glad my daughters didn't have to deal with any drama. And listen, my daughters get drama from their current grandparents.
All three of them.
All three of them.
All four of them. If
whatever little bullshit a grandparent brings in to their thing, whether it's my dad's anxiety, or my mom's coarse talk, frank talk, or
my dad's.
I won't say anything about your dad because
my dad's.
I won't say anything about your dad because if your dad heard it, it would hurt his feelings.
Yes,
like we can talk about my parents pretty openly,
but we're all. Well, I mean, my dad is flawed. My dad is not perfect, and he knows that. I
wrote a good joke about your dad.
You did?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think you're the only one who can really answer that question, but there's no wrong answer either. Guess what? I didn't talk to my mom, and then I did. And then I didn't. And then I did. And then I didn't. So it took me 3 times of trying, really trying to figure out how to be in a relationship with her that was somewhat balanced, that was somewhat based in truth. And after 3 times over a course of, 20 years, the answer was no.
Can I tell you what you should do?
Tell me. What I should do?
So I had a friend when I lived in New York, it was right when the internet was popping off and you could join groups.
Mm-hmm.
I had a friend who got herpes and he joined a herpes help group and they chatted online. And he said, I've never gotten more pussy in my life because we all have herpes.
Yeah.
So everyone it's so easy.
They already have it, so you can just whatever.
You need to start an I don't talk to my mom help group for people like this so you can all chat in maybe just a Facebook page, or so you guys can all chat and make each other feel better about the situation at hand, because there's a lot of similarities. And the reason I say this is because you and Christina Pajinski bonded over your mom trauma.
Oh, totally.
And there's a bonding over mom trauma, and it gives what this young lady's looking for is validation and honesty. Because she lives in a world where she grew up without honesty.
That's right.
And she's looking for other people just to go like, yo, you're heard, you're seen.
It's very true.
And also, what she's looking for real is someone to like help her call her on her bullshit. Because you're so lost when your parents are off in space and just not grounded in reality at all. You're a little on roller skates yourself.
Oh, yeah, totally.
God, I'm really killing it on this episode.
You are. You don't know which end is up sometimes when the person that, I remember having an argument with my mom, and the next day she would literally say, that never happened. And I'd be like, am I crazy? But I'm pretty sure we just had an argument about that. And she would be like, don't know what you're talking about. That never happened.
Listen,
never. And you're like, what?
This shit.
It's crazy making. It makes you doubt yourself. And I'll tell you this too. The first 2 times that I was struggling with not talking to my mom or talking to her, I had a lot of guilt and a lot of anger. And the 3rd time it happened, I had put the work in where I had really tried so many times that I relieved myself of the responsibility of it. Not only because she's the parent, like you said, and your parent is supposed to take care of you as a child, and she wasn't doing that, but I had really given it my best shot to try and have an adult, mature mother-daughter relationship, and it still wasn't working. So at a certain point, how can I hold myself responsible any longer? I can't carry that burden the rest of my life when I got therapy. I did workbooks. I tried conversation. I did everything and nothing worked. So it's almost like having, it's like having someone just run up against a brick wall. At one point, you're going to go, are you going to keep throwing yourself against a brick wall, or are you just going to walk away?
Yeah, and also this is going to creep in every part. Your parenting, how you got parented, shows up in every aspect of your life.
Absolutely.
It's like when you throw up on a dog's head, you're going to smell it for a while.
Like last night.
Like that fucking dog. Someone threw up on a dog's head and you can't stop smelling the throw up. And that throw up's going to be on you for a while. And it's going to look, LeeAnn and I got into an argument last night. And I would say I'm very accountable. But today I thought to myself, maybe I was asking for an apology that doesn't exist. Maybe I'm asking for what's it called? Hey, what's it called, Christine, when you're a sheik's child and you live in amnesty? Maybe I was looking for amnesty and not an apology or like I was asking for like
accountability.
Yeah, I don't know. So, but
confused.
I was like, I apologize too quick sometimes. I don't allow the other person to be heard. I just go, let's get over it. I don't want to deal with it.
Oh, I see what you mean.
And so I was like, oh,
You just want it to be done.
I don't want it to be done. I just know that we're on the same page. We're on the same team.
Ultimately.
Why can't we just, why is this going to stop us? Let's watch TV or something.
Mm.
International immunity.
Yeah, it's amnesty.
Amnesty,
that's a great word.
I'm fucking so good on this episode.
Really interesting. I know I had therapy this morning and talked about our argument last night. And she was like, what's your takeaway? I said, my takeaway is, it's just me. It's me in the world. That's how I feel when we get in an argument. As I go, well, I'm just me taking care of me again. Here's me taking care of me. And I'm saying that to your point with what you just said to this lady.
Okay.
Is the way that you're raised.
Yeah.
It stays with you.
Oh.
So we're in an argument last night.
I took that sideways.
No, we're in an argument last night and I go, see, it's you and you. And you know who has to take care of you? You. And you know who fights for you? You. You know who's on your side? You. Do you know who's no one else on this planet has ever in my childhood stood up and said, I got you. So when we have a fight, that's what happens for me. And so, see, it's you. You're all you got. It's hard. That's from my childhood. Sorry.
Okay.
Had therapy this morning. I'm still a little raw.
It's so funny. I can tell when you have a raw therapy.
Yeah, because that's hard to realize where I go.
Yeah, but it's not
all of it's true.
No. Not all of it's true.
However, my feelings are true.
No, your feelings are true. My point to her or caller is
tissue.
No, it's just you. You get it for you.
See my point exactly. It's proven to me all the time. Thanks, babe.
Wait, that was a joke.
I know that.
Jesus Christ. No, here's the point: is if you're this caller or anyone dealing with some wonky parents, you're gonna smell the throw up in that dog for a long time.
It never goes away.
It never goes away, and you need to be.
You manage it. You've learned to manage it, and hopefully you get better at managing it. But it never goes away.
I'm telling you, BetterHelp. BetterHelp. It's not a podcast sponsor of this. Of great.
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is?
Yes, BetterHelp sponsors my podcast.
I just was saying for real.
I don't know if this episode, but
that's how great BetterHelp is. I think about BetterHelp often, and you know, I got to be honest with you, and I'm just a free read. Honestly, we are all fucking broken. Let's move forward.
Okay.
I hope that helps you.
I hope so.
And I apologize to you if I know that I don't ever make you feel like it's just you, that shit comes up from your childhood, but I would like you to know that in those moments when you feel that way, if you tell me what you just said, I may hear things differently because I don't ever want you to feel like it's only you.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. I'll do my best to do that.
Did you pick up the dog shit today? I pick
up the dog shit every day.
You?
Yes.
I'm going to start. This might be my...
Once again, I alone pick up the dog shit.
Fucking take that video down.
Wife of the Party is sponsored by Shopify. When you think about companies with healthy sales like Chubby's or Magic Spoon, sure, you think about a great product, an attractive brand, and marketing that lifts a heavy load. But an often overlooked secret is actually the business behind the business, making selling and for shoppers buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. So, if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. I've used Shopify for years. What makes Shopify a right fit for me is that it is so user-friendly. For someone like me who's not super savvy, I can log on to my Shopify account and I can see what's moving, what's not moving, how my inventory's looking. It just makes running a business a breeze. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout BBP uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/wife, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/wife to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/wife.
All right, next caller.
Hey, LeeAnn. My name's Jesse. I'm 31. I've thought about this for a minute now, and I don't really have any real questions I need to ask. I feel I have tons of things that have happened to me and stuff like that you might be able to help with. But I feel like I'm dealing with that stuff pretty good. But something I really think I would like is my mom, my dad, my stepdad have all passed away now. The only, like, my mom and my stepdad were really the key parts of my life. My dad was in prison 90% of my life, so that didn't really, like, when he passed, it wasn't like it was just made me real sad. I never really knew him that well, so it didn't bother me that much. But I feel like I'm dealing with all that really well. I deal with it through humor a lot of the times, but nevertheless, what I would like from you is just some good motherly advice for somebody that's 31. Got a bunch of things going for them, and just trying to, I don't know, it'd be nice to have some advice from a mom, and I haven't had any in a while. But yeah, that's my thing. Also, I'm a disc golfer, and I'm going to the Bert show in New Orleans. And
cool.
if Bert's there, I want to play disc golf with him in New Orleans. There's a super cool disc golf course right outside of New Orleans in this drain swamp that looks amazing. It's super cool. I know that's dramatically different than the first subject of this phone call, but yeah, that's it.
This guy.
Thanks.
Well, Jesse, I'm sorry everybody's passed away. That must be really hard. I know. Yeah, that's got to be really hard.
Just get right into some mom shit.
I don't know what mom advice.
Pretend you're talking to our girls or Carter Grusin or
well, I always,
at 31.
31's a great place to be because you made it through your 20s, and your 20s are about making mistakes and figuring things out and figuring out who you are and what you like and what you don't like and kind of who you want to be and setting some values hopefully in place for yourself. And then your 30s are about really practicing that to know that in your 40s, you kind of got it under your belt and life really starts unfolding. Your 30s are about hard work and focus and perseverance and drive. That's what I think your 30s are about. It's really going after your dreams. If you dream to be married, to own your own company, to be the best at the company you work at, to have a home garden, whatever your goals are. I think your 30s are about really digging into those goals that you probably sort of figured out in your 20s. And if you're 31 and you haven't figured it out yet, that's okay. It'll come really soon. Your 30s is when everything starts like ripening, I think. Like your fruit's growing on the vine in your 20s, but in your 30s, it starts getting ripe. And then in your 40s, you get to eat it. So if you think about it like that, I think that's what your 30s will be.
One of my favorite lines of any book, and I know you're not looking for my advice, but one of my favorite lines in any book is in The Great Gatsby. The first line of the movie, of the book was, I want to get it right. That's my favorite line. I read it when I turned 30 on accident.
And you were like, whoa.
I read it
You
when
turned
I was
30 on accident? You read it on accident when you turned 30? Why'd you read it on accident? What do you mean? You just stumbled on the book or something?
I stumbled on the book. I was supposed to have read it in high school and I didn't. And then I moved to New York and I didn't. And I was going to read it in New York. And then when I turned 30, I don't think I was drinking for some reason. And I picked up The Great Gatsby. It was in my closet. I think I still live by myself.
Have you ever lived by yourself?
Shut up.
I don't think you ever lived by yourself.
What are we doing?
No, but I thought you lived with Val or...
I didn't live with you.
Oh.
I've never lived by myself. I know what you're getting at. I know what you're getting at. No,
I actually wasn't trying to do that. I was confused. You said I was living... What you said was I was living by myself. And hold on. I don't think you ever lived by yourself. So when was that?
Oh, Wreck-It Ralph over here puts on her little helmet and decides to prove her. Hold on, let's get into this. You said to me the other day, in your own little evil laugh, you never lived by yourself.
You haven't.
You could never live by yourself.
You have not. And
you and Connie Kreischer.
You and Connie Kreischer will never have
and
never.
And my daughter, Isla Grace, they will
never live by themselves. No. Isla's never living by herself.
No.
You've never lived by yourself.
I hope you hear this in the boardroom. Do you hear the intensity in that voice?
Well,
You never.
Have you ever? When have you lived by yourself?
When I moved.
Was it that 2-day period between roommates? Was that it? Okay, so in high school, you lived with your parents. In college, you always had roommates. From college, you moved to New York with a roommate.
Lived on Val's. Well, when I would live by myself in that I didn't have a place to live and I jumped on people's couches.
So that's not alone.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Lived on Val's couch for 7 months.
You did live in a hotel room.
When I've lived by myself.
There you go.
It was very enlightening.
And was it?
And I think that's when I read, it was probably around the time when I read
Great Gatsby. Did you find it in the closet of your hotel room?
The line from The Great Gatsby is, I realized at the age of 30, I had to stop lying to myself.
Oh, it's a brilliant line.
I think that's the line.
Something like that.
It's something to that effect. And I went, oh, because in your 20s, you do say to yourself, yeah, I do comedy, but you're not really doing it.
Very true.
And you're like, no, I work out. And you're like, but you're not really. And
you lie the opposite way, where you say, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm disgusting, I'm a piece of shit, I'm worthless.
And you're not.
And you're not.
And I decided at 30, I was just going to be honest with myself and really let it go. And I started, and you know what LeeAnn said is true. I really focused on my goals in my 30s. My 30s gave me my 40th birthday. My 40th birthday is one of the best days of my life. And what's crazy is in my 40s, all the hard work I did in my 30s, paid off at like 45.
Yeah, exactly. But if you hadn't done it in your 30s, nothing would have paid off at 45.
When I was 44, I think 44, 45, I went to Montreal to do stand-up, and I got into a room full of comics that were all very hot, very fire hot careers. Top 10 comics you have to watch.
Yeah.
They had cool clothes and they had cool haircuts and they were like cool and they had development deals and they were young and I was 44. I sat down with 10,000 hours of confidence and I went, I'm absolutely better than every single one of these comics. That's so funny. I'm not nervous. I'm not scared. I'm going to destroy the stage. I've done this for a living since I was 26, every fucking night of my life. And I would do it 2 nights, three times a night. And I was like, wow, I have my 10,000 hours of confidence. That was because of my 30s.
Oh, your 40s really set up your 50s. So
I'm 52
really,
right now. And yeah, but I feel like, you ready for this? I heard a quote. And by the way, this is some drunk redneck. He said, I could kill an alligator. They say an alligator is the toughest animal in the world. It could kill a lion. But an alligator can be killed by a man right after it eats. Right after it eats, it's super satisfied and it's very vulnerable and it doesn't have the drive anymore to go kill. But when it's hungry, it's dangerous. And I was like, ooh, I need to get hungry again. I started getting hungry again. I started writing jokes. After I did my fucking hour, I kind of was tapped out. I didn't want to think about comedy.
Yeah.
I've been writing jokes every now and then. I'm just writing jokes out of nowhere, thinking of TV shows. I haven't thought of a TV show idea since TV went away.
Yeah, well, you've been really relentlessly touring.
But
so you needed a minute.
I'll go back to him. Spend these next 10 years, next 9 years, putting your 10,000 hours in so that it pays off when you're 45.
And live in truth, like you said.
And live in
Stop
truth.
lying to yourself.
And I would like to offer my wife up as tribute when you're in New Orleans. If you need a hug from a mom,
Aww.
you got one.
Oh, Jesse.
She get a big hug from LeeAnn. LeeAnn's got great mom energy. You do.
Thank you.
I also think that anyone that had sex with you would be, you're undeniable. I think you'd turn anyone on.
Well, good.
If I ever get,
I hope you're not offering me up as tribute sexually.
If I ever get into a coma and you need to take a lover,
I'm not allowed, I'm assuming?
No, you're allowed to. It has to be done in front of me.
Oh, okay.
I want to be in the threesome.
Even though you're in the coma. Okay, good to know. I'll keep that in mind. Do they have to have herpes or no?
No, I know the guy.
No herpes.
I know the guy.
Okay. You know the guy?
Mm-hmm. Who I would love for you to have sex with if I'm in a coma.
Who is that?
Owen Gray.
Who is that?
You may not be into him.
Who is
but
that?
You're doing it as tribute.
Who is Owen Gray?
Don't worry about it. We'll Google it later.
Oh my God. I think I should get to choose my own threesome sexual partner.
Who would you go with?
Chris Hemsworth. Hi.
Maybe we're not getting him.
Well, you may not. But as you said, I'm pretty spectacular. Maybe he'll leave his wife for me.
Maybe.
Yeah, just kidding. Okay, should we do the next
yes.
one?
Hey, I love you, buddy. I hope you're having a great day.
Me
and I would
too,
love
Jesse.
to play, I hope I get to play disc golf with you.
Hey, LeeAnn. So I'm a 33-year-old woman, happily married to my husband, Cam, who's 30. And I'm currently going through a friendship breakup with my friend, Jane, someone I've been as close to as a sibling. We've shared years of memories. We've traveled the world with our husbands and just together. We've been through and through best friends for many, many years. During a recent visit with Jane and her husband, Aaron, everything started off great. We had a relaxing beach day. We had heartfelt conversations, laughs. And that evening, my husband, Cam, suggested that we grab a nightcap at a local bar. And while we were there, my ex-boyfriend, Dean, who's Cuban, warm, passionate, platonic, part of my life. You know, Cubans, they like kiss everybody when they say hello and goodbye.
It's true.
So sweet. He happened to be at the bar. And to give context, Dean and I ended on super great terms. We reconnected years later after my dog died. He's become a friend to both me and my husband. And when Cam went to say hi, despite my suggestion to like maybe let him enjoy his dinner and not join us, this led me to like briefly explain Dean's backstory to Jane and Aaron so they weren't uncomfortable. And I was definitely anxious. And so I was overly complimentary, and I kind of casually mentioned, again, probably drunken induced, but I was like, if I didn't marry Cam, I would have ended up with Dean. Like, that's how great he is. You guys are going to love him, which I realized might have come off wrong. But
Yeah.
Cam and Dean hit it off, and the night felt like a win for me, and for everyone, really. But later, I checked in with Dean to make sure that everything was okay. Since we kind of swooped in on his night, he reassured me that everything was fine. He loves my husband. He was happy to be included. He gave me a warm hug, a big smooch, and everything was really fine. Cam was there. He saw everything. He had no issue, but Jane's demeanor shifted dramatically. The next morning, she acted cold and distant. She basically said that I orchestrated the night to cheat on my husband somehow. She has had a huge reaction to this, and she sent me all kinds of insults, calling me like manic and calculating and scheming, and it was just really intense. And so my husband and I have crafted like several thoughtful responses to her, being like, hey, our perspective matters too. Like, this should make you feel better. Like, this is not at all what it looked like, or it's not at all what it was. And like, we can get it's uncomfy, but hey, this is not the situation. Anyway, she sent an ultimatum basically saying like, I have to accept that I'm all of these horrible things or she can't be my friend.
Wow.
And I said, okay, again, that's not fair. We love you. Can we just talk about this? Ultimatums feel super threatening. But she blocked all of us, deleted us on social media, and I don't know what to do.
There's something going on. I don't trust her. There's no way you react that strongly to something that innocent unless you have a secret or a problem. That's what I think.
Yeah. Oh, she's out of her fucking mind.
A, she's out of her mind. B, she must feel really guilty about something going on in her life, because the only reason you react that strongly to someone else's choices that are in the open, explained with your partner, is if she's feeling guilty about something in her own life.
Oh, hang on. Also, I'm certain, and I only know this because I have friends like this. I've broken up with a couple friends a number of times. And every time I was like, oh, they're out of their fucking mind. They're a narcissist. Usually they're a narcissist. So there has to be something. There's something medically wrong with her. There has to be. There's no way, unless you're leaving out a huge something or other in this.
Yeah, it just doesn't add up.
It doesn't add up, and it's
So she's either having drama for drama's sake, or she's having something going on in her personal life and this is distracting from it, or she's guilty of what she's accusing you of, so she's projecting.
There's no more disabling feeling in a relationship than piety. And when you feel, I used to try to have a joke about it. I would love to be self-righteous. It feels so beautiful to be self-righteous. It really does. You know, I envy all the comedians that talk about politics, and when they get a disagreement, they just go, "Yeah, you're a fucking idiot," and they actually believe it.
Right.
They actually believe. That's called self-righteousness. It's piety. I would love to be pious. I would love to tell you my opinion and not question my own opinion. But that piety is fucking narcissism masked.
I think it's ignorance, actually.
I think it's even deeper. I think it's really, especially in this scenario.
It's fear. It's fear and insecurity, because it's part of it too, because here's what I think. Anybody that gives you an ultimatum about a relationship is not someone you want to be in a relationship with.
Boom.
We have a friend,
Boom.
we have couples,
Boom.
and the wife.
Boom. Hang on. Say that again. Preach, woman. Anyone.
Anyone who gives you an ultimatum in a relationship is not somebody you want to be in a relationship with.
Fuck. That's it. Mic drop. That's it. Mic drop. That's it. Mic drop. That's a fucking amazing statement. Anyone who gives you an ultimatum in a relationship
is not someone you want to be in a relationship with.
You don't bend at the knee for this bitch.
Because that's not a relationship. You're not relating to each other.
Boom. Oh, I fucking love that statement.
It's not right.
Oh.
We have a couple.
Oh, I'm like, fuck, you're fucking me up right now. Let me tell you something.
We don't ultimatum each other, ever.
Let's not talk about me and you.
No, but I mean, we don't.
We're
not a perfect relationship. Nobody is, but that is like, you just don't go there. Period.
It's crazy. The ultimatums, people think they can demand shit from you. Mm-hmm. And you go, "Oh, bitch, you don't tell me how to behave.
No.
You don't ever dictate my actions, my feelings, my behaviors. You're out of your fucking mind. And you, my friend, are a narcissist." I'm so glad we took this question.
Yeah, because the truth is, no one should, if you really were, then you were functioning under a misapprehension, right? You believed your friendship to be one thing, and she just showed you what it is to her. And so are you going to accept that or not? I would say anybody that gives you an ultimatum, there is no relationship there. There's a dictatorship. And who wants to be in a dictatorship? Nobody.
Can I tell you a short story?
Sure. You're so triggered. Your brain's going
I'm really
a million
bothered by
miles an hour.
this. I'm really bothered by this. In China in the 1930s, Mao Zedong was trying to take over the whole, communism was trying to take over the whole thing. Japan was trying to take over North China. And there was the independent people of China, Chiang Kai-shek, I think was his name. He didn't want to give up he didn't believe in communism, and he didn't believe in communism. And two of his generals kidnapped him and said, "Hey, you need to hear the communist out." And I've never felt more like a human being. I've never felt more like another man than I did Chiang Kai-shek. I think I'm saying his name correctly. When he said, "Oh no, you need to kill me. You kidnapped me, and you're telling me I need now to listen to you? Oh, no. You're going to need to kill me, because when I get out of this, I'm killing you."
Oh, wow. Was he also a Scorpio? I think he might have been.
He killed those two generals.
Of course he did.
He said, yeah, we'll side with the communists, and then killed those two generals. And then I think Mao Zedong killed him. But that ultimatum shit is fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
it is. I might have to be done with this. I need to go write my journal or something.
You need to go process.
'Cause,
There's no place in this
It's
world.
narcissist. And by the way, now that you've said this, and I really appreciate this question. Now that you've said this, I can identify. It's so easy when it's not you. When you're not in the midst of it.
Right.
Because what happened is she's leaning on you questioning your own self a little bit. You're questioning yourself. She's making you, it is textbook gaslighting. She is forcing you to re-examine yourself because you're not a fucking lunatic. You're not a fucking broken fucking psycho. And so she's forcing you to, because you're a regular person, to go, wait, hold on. I did kiss Melissa. My husband was there. And I did say, if I had not married anyone, but I've said that. I mean,
I'm
my
clearly
husband,
happily married.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
She's forcing you to get into your feelings about this when it wasn't you. Now, when it's you in the situation, it's so difficult because you're a regular person to see, oh, I'm dealing with a mentally ill person here.
Well, here's another flag. If you've thought about this many aspects of it and how it would appear to her, you're doing that in other places with her and you don't realize it. Is she gonna like this wine? Is she gonna like this food? Is she gonna? Is she gonna be okay with this trip? Is she gonna what? So I would say I would look at that more closely, because when you're with someone who feels they have the authority to give you an ultimatum, you've already been giving them authority without knowing it in your own brain. She took up so much real estate in your brain about this moment with this person that you nor your husband have any issue with, that she already owned real estate in your brain that didn't belong to her. So that's not a healthy friendship either. You shouldn't be like, ooh, what will she think about this outfit I'm wearing? Will she judge this outfit? And is she going to like the wine? Now, there's a difference between wanting your friend to be happy in the moment and as opposed to crafting a moment for your friend, thinking ahead of how they're going to react so that you can behave appropriately. So what she described was thinking ahead of how she was going to react to saying hi to her ex-boyfriend and trying to make it better. Well, if she were really your friend, you wouldn't have to do any of those fucking acrobatics. You would just go, it's my ex. I would have married him if I had married my husband. Ha, 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 yuck, yuck, and wouldn't have thought twice about it. But because you thought so much about it, to me, that's an indication that you already had a disproportionate relationship before the ultimatum showed up and you hadn't recognized it. So here's a great lesson for you. Yes, she has a host of problems, but guess what? They're not going to go away for her because she's not interested in fixing them. The only thing you can fix is yourself. So reevaluate how you showed up in that relationship and that friendship, and where you might have allowed her to have real estate in your brain.
Now I'm forcing myself to realize or to introspectively examine what was I doing? This is what's broken about young lady. I forgot your name. I know your friend's name is Jane, but I forgot your name. And I'm just going to say you, as you know the caller. What do we do that forces those narcissists to play that hand? What are we doing? Like, so I'm assuming for every action there is a reaction, right? Sir Isaac Newton, he came up with that.
Yeah.
Apple fell out of the tree. They said, why didn't it go sideways?
Gravity, yeah.
Yeah. What? So like I cast a large wake. I'm a lot. I'm sometimes somewhat oblivious to how I affect how other people sit in a room, because I know that I'm in the room, and I like to fill a room. I like to introduce people. I can overwhelm situations. Wonder if you're like that, young lady. And I wonder what do we do that forces those psychos to act like that, and why do we draw them into our lives? So I can name off the top of my head
tons of people. Well,
I drew them.
Well, you do. You have to figure out why you draw certain people to you, right? And why you don't recognize patterns, right? So I was in a relationship with my writing partner, and in the middle of that relationship, I said to myself, "This is my mom. Why am I in another relationship with someone that's just like my mom? Why am I doing that? But until I recognized that pattern, I couldn't make a different choice.
Yeah.
You choose what you know, and you choose what's familiar, and you choose what you understand, because it's the theory of one in the hand is better than two in the bush.
God damn it.
Two in the bush might be freedom, but you don't know what that functions like. So you keep doing the one in the hand over and over and over again because you understand that. That's why you marry someone who's similar to a parent. And when you do that, you find struggles that you had with the parent, you have with the spouse. And unless you can recognize the pattern with the spouse and make different choices, you'll just repeat the patterns you saw.
Jesus
But
Christ.
that's how psyche works. We were made to survive. And that one in the hand is a way to survive that's proven.
Yeah.
The two in the push is not proven and is scarier and is riskier and might not work. Even if on paper it makes sense, you don't have proof of concept for those two in the bush.
Mm-hmm.
But 9 times out of 10, the two in the bush is the way to freedom.
Yeah.
You just have to trust that you'll figure out how to function. So whatever you were doing, whatever relationship you had set up with Jane, there's probably some pattern in your own thought process or way of functioning to be a people pleaser, to anticipate someone's needs before, so that you can circumnavigate any problems, to over prepare so everyone's happy. There's lots of different things that could lead you. And I can tell you from experience, I was that person with my writing partner. I would try to anticipate her, everything she thought about everything that was coming down the pike. And guess what? It didn't work. You can never guess someone else's thoughts and needs entirely. And I think sometimes when that person, that recipient of your thought, your Jane, is used to being catered to in that fashion, when something happens off kilter for them, it spins them out because they're used to being catered to all the time. And so once something doesn't match up for them, that's two in the bush for them, and they can't have it.
Yeah. I might be done this show.
I think you are done.
I'm really upset.
I'm sorry.
No, that's crazy. I just like, I've had these relationships since I was like in high school. I've drawn these people to me.
Interesting.
Yeah, and you know what's so crazy is I've allowed people to put ultimatums on me, and it makes me crazy because if you don't let your star shine, you know, then you're denying anyone else their ability for their star to shine.
100%.
And people say like, "Yo, can you not fucking? Oh my god, I'm like,
can you not take your shirt off?" Yeah, you've heard that from a million people.
Can you not do this joke?
Can you not just be yourself? Can you not be you? Yeah. Can you just not be you?
Can you not be
whatever.
Bert? Because I want to be me, and I can't be me around Bert.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Bert's too big.
Oh, it fucks me up because if I heard you say that to my daughter, I'd fucking throw you through a wall.
Totally, yeah.
I'd throw you through a fucking wall. And I've allowed it so often in my life. And I'm not, I want, please, I do not want you to interpret this with comedy. I do not want you to think what I'm talking about is within the last 10 years of my life in comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I've surrounded myself from the moment Rogan pulled me aside and he with a fucking Heineken and a fucking shot of Jack and said, "We are trying to be your friend.
Yeah.
You need to allow us."
Right.
Realized that was because I had dealt with wildly inappropriate people.
That's who
And
you surrounded yourself with.
I surrounded myself around those people.
You did. You surrounded yourself with people who, yeah.
And
Until you recognize the pattern, you can't fix it.
and so I don't want you to interpret this, please, because I know how the internet gets. Because what I'm talking about is not just
In your present day
in
life.
my present day life.
Yeah.
It's actually not in my present day life at all.
No, because you mature out of it.
You mature out of it, and I will tell you very simply that
Jane's a loser.
if you're a grown man and you raise your voice at me,
Uh-huh.
I now know who you are for the rest of your life, and I become very protective of me, and I go, yeah, we don't like that guy. I understand we have to work with him, but this will not be happening. This will not enter my life, and so But man, I allowed it when I was a kid. And to think that like I allowed it through college. I allowed it through, I mean, it's what I'm like, that's what's upsetting me right now is how many times because I started thinking who has done this to me. And what's upsetting me is the ones at a younger age. Mm. It's weird, you know. I'm so sorry you're going through this, young lady.
Yeah, I am.
But just know that, hey, this is what happens to people, and we're just people, and you probably just got a big smile that people want to fucking punch.
Well, hopefully too, you realize that it's Jane's loss if she can't let.
Oh, it's 100% Jane's loss. And by the way,
Jane's loss.
Jane is going to live a miserable fucking life. Trust me from that. I know that. I know.
And
Jane
you know what? Hey, maybe she won't, but it will.
She will.
No,
she
but
will.
it will be a life unexamined.
A
life unexamined is not very interesting.
Of my buddies who have horrific lives, and there are 3 dudes who at one point, 10th grade, 26 years old, and 22. 3 dudes who have put ultimatums on me. And if I told you their names, you'd go, "Oh yeah, oh yeah."
No, I could probably guess 1 or 2.
So it's crazy. What the fuck? All right, anyway. I gotta get into therapy. BetterHelp, guys. Visit BetterHelp.com. Use promo code Bert. It's convenient.
No, promo code wife.
Use promo code wife.
It's mine. It's mine.
Go to, for real, get into fucking therapy. Because all this shit creeps up on you. We've had it. It's
been good.
This might be our potty.
Our potty?
It's like a Emmy for podcasts.
Oh, it's our potty.
Our potty.
Oh, okay.
LeeAnn cried. I got triggered.
I cried, yeah. I did, but...
And I said some brilliant shit today.
But I said 1 or 2 good things, too.
Wait, we have one more quick one.
Okay.
Hi, LeeAnn. This is so random. I don't have a question, but I had such a vivid dream last night, and I woke up, and it was in my mind. I'm like, ugh, I feel like I need to write her a message on Instagram because the message was so clear. The dream was so vivid. And I know this is so random. So I was glad that you had this number because I don't like sending people I don't know DMs. I think it's weird. But this is the message. This is the dream. In my dream, if you've started writing a book or you were thinking of writing a book, you need to just write a book. And if you've started it, you need to finish it and stop procrastinating. You need to write. That was in my dream. And I don't know why. I don't really follow you much. And you're going to write a few books, I think. And one of them is going to be really successful. So please just write. Okay, that's it. I hope you're well. Take care. Bye.
Wow.
God damn it. I thought it was going to be a sex dream about me.
Sorry.
Fuck yeah. Well, if you dream it, you know how I feel about dreams.
I do. I think it's pretty crazy that somebody that doesn't really know me had that dream, and that's something that I've been working on. I've been wanting to do for a while.
You got to stop and you have to do what she said.
Got to stop what?
It's procrastinating and right.
Well, I don't know that I'm necessarily procrastinating.
Right.
I haven't been procrastinating. I've been busy with other things. I have a whole whiteboard of 8 different books that I've already bullet pointed. I just don't have the time in the week to sit down and start writing them yet.
You got to write.
Right.
You got to fucking say that does it. Every Thursday, I take myself out. I go somewhere and I write for fucking 2 hours.
I love that. Then I will start doing that.
Thank you, young lady.
Thank you.
Whoever called.
Yes, that was amazing. Yeah, Thank you, Christine, for making us listen to one more.
Yeah, is there one about me? I hope everyone knows that's a joke. Like that's a bit I do, or where I pretend to be a fucking narcissist.
Oh, is that pretend?
Because I don't put ultimatums on anybody.
No, no.
Don't you fucking dare. You say yes, and I will leave this relationship right now. I need you to bow at the knee.
Shut up. That sounds like an ultimatum, actually. I need you to bow at the knee. That sounds pretty ultimatum-y. Thank you for all your questions. Please send more, and we'll talk and we'll discuss more.
Hey, I love you guys. Thank you so much. This is a really fun podcast, just taking advice and doing advice. It makes me think. Maybe not for the best.
It was for the best.